ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। भगवद गीता चैप्टर 1 टेक्स्ट 5। दृष्टकेतुः चेकितानः काशीराजः च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजः च शैब्यः च नरपुङ्गवः। दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च 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 नरपुङ्गवः दृष्टकेतुः चेकितानः काशीराज च also वीर्यवान् very powerful Purujit Kunti Bhoja cha and Narapungava Shaibya cha and Narapungava hero in human society. Translation by Sranga Jayasri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kuntibhoja and Shaibya. Text 6. Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta, Uttamaujascha Viryavan, Saubhadro Draupadeyascha, Sarva Eva Maharatha. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Text 7. Asmakam tu visishtaye tam nibodha dvijottama nayaka mama sainyasya samyartham tam bravinite. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jaya Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadattis Tathaivacha. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are all victorious in battle, who are always victorious in battle. Purport. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya, and Saumadatti or Bhurishrava is the son of the king of the Bahalikas. Karna is the half-brother of Arjuna as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. Text 9. Anye cha bahavasura madarthe tyakta jivita nana shastra praharanah sarve yuddha visharada. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military assignments. Purport. As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was of course confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strength of his friends. Text 10. Aparyaptam tad asmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidam etesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. Translation. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Purport. Herein, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general Bhima, who was like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. So, these few verses, Duryodhana is explaining, is mentioning to Bhishma. At this point, the two armies were stationed opposite each other at Kurukshetra, and Duryodhana was estimating the size of both the armies. In today's warfare, you cannot really see the entire army on the other side because they are hiding and shooting. But the Kshatriyas are not cowards like that. They are very brave. They face each other, and they chose Kurukshetra. They did not choose the city where all women, children, elder people, brahmanas, cows, everybody is there. Go there and fight, hide and shoot, hide and detonate some bombs. No, they did not do like that. This is actually uncivilized warfare. This is not very civilized form of warfare. They call it guerrilla warfare. It's not very civilized actually. Real heroism means yuddhe chape apalayanam. You face the opposite party, and it is not that the chief of the army is sitting at the back and send the soldiers out in the front, the infantry first. Like in the chess, the queen, the elephant, everybody is standing behind, and pawns are in the front. Let you die first, then we will come. Not like that. Warfare means the general will be in the front, leading the pack. So, that is Kshatriya spirit. They are not cowards. And all of them are Maharathas and Atirathas. The names mentioned here are all Atirathas or Maharathas. That means one person can fight with thousands upon thousands at the same time, simultaneously. So that kind of caliber these warriors were. And Duryodhana was mentioning all the great names in that battlefield. First he mentioned all the great names on the Pandava side, because he is trying to give encouragement to Bhishma and all the army, the entire force. So he is trying to glorify the position of his own army. How much greater they are. Actually, it is in the battle of Kurukshetra, the Kauravas had a much larger, much bigger army than the Pandavas. The Pandavas had an army of 7 Akshavinis. One Akshavini is a military phalanx that consists of a set of different categories of warriors. There are the infantry foot soldiers, about 109,576 or something like that. There is a number. 109,000 something. Then there are 65,536 chariots drawn by each 4 horses. And then there are horses which are 65,536 and the same number of elephants, war elephants. And in this way there is a whole number. It is mentioned somewhere in the purport. And I need to actually save that. So that is one Akshavini, it is called. So like that, Pandavas had 7 Akshavinis worth of army size. And the Kauravas had 11 Akshavinis. So it was more than 1.5 times. So, and not only that, the size, the caliber also. Quantity is one thing, quality also they were higher. In the Pandava side, the great warriors were only 3. First of all, Krishna was not fighting. He was the greatest warrior, but he was not fighting. There was Arjuna, Bhima, and Satyaki. These were the most powerful warriors. Others are not as powerful as them. But on the other side, we had Bhishmadev, who was the grandsire, who was the best warrior of his time. He defeated even Parshuram, who was the incarnation of one of the Dashavata. He defeated even Parshuram, his own guru, in military art. And nobody could stand in front of him, even though he was almost, at the time of Mahabharata war, if you calculate the age, Krishna was already 89 years old. You just imagine the Bhishmadev's age. Arjuna was also 89 years old. It was not that they were young, youthful fighters. No. But at the same time, they were very strong. Still, they could fight with thousands at one time. But Bhishmadev was at least 160 to 170 years old. at the time of the battle. But no, because it was towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, the age was not so long. But if you calculate the sequence of events from the point where Bhishma Dev first got the fisherman Tattvavit for his father, he was already of mature age, say at least, let's say 20 years old. Then the Tattvavit was brought, and then Vichitravirya grew up. So at least another 25 years old, and Vichitravirya got married. And then so another 20 plus 25, 45, got almost 50. Then Vichitravirya could not produce. Then Vyasadeva was produced. Then Pandu and Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra is already considered old. By the time Dhritarashtra was born, Bhishma Dev was already 50 plus years old. Just imagine. And then Duryodhana, who was of the age of Bhima, like that. Arjuna was already 89 years old, means Bhima was at least 90 something. And Duryodhana was his age. And Dhritarashtra must be at least 25 years older than him. 115, so plus another 15, 165, 170 years old. Bhishma Dev. And he was standing on the battlefield and nobody could face him. People half his age, people quarter, 1/8 his age also cannot face him. That was the strength of Bhishma Dev, commander-in-chief of the army. So now, Bhishma Dev, one, he is the greatest of all. Then there is Duryodhana, there is Karna, there is Ashwathama, there is Dronacharya, who is actually the military teacher of all these warriors. Who can defeat him? Then there is Jayadratha. So many. In fact, Bhishma Dev, Arjuna said, I think Arjuna said in the Bhagavatam, that Kaurava army was like an ocean which was full of sharks and whales and timingalas. Timingala is a fish which is so big that it will just gobble up blue whales like that, as if it's a small fish. That big timingala. So, there were great timingalas in the ocean. But it is so surprising that not even one hair on my head was touched. Arjuna was saying. I think in the 19th chapter of the first canto, he says that. 1:19:16. So, just see how Krishna protected Arjuna. Even though such great warriors were there, not even a hair on Arjuna's head was touched. It is not because Arjuna was such a great warrior. Actually, compared to Bhishma Dev, compared to Dronacharya, nothing. But because of Krishna's protection. So, on one side, materially calculating, there is a saying that Upayam chintayat prajna apayam cha chintayat. That means a strategist should be not just calculating the good side. Oh, I have big warriors, now I will win. Now you should know the strength of the enemy also. It's not that good strategist, he will estimate both sides. Duryodhana was an excellent, it is not that he was some low class fellow. Of course, he was not devotee of Krishna and he was against the devotees of Krishna, Pandavas. Otherwise, he was very much qualified. Strategy-wise, he was very great strategist. So, Upayam Chintayat Prajna, Apayam Chintayat. So, therefore, he is, Upayam Chintayat means, when Prajna means one who is intelligent. An intelligent man, he will calculate the things that are favorable for him and the things that are not favorable for him. What can go wrong? What are we contending with? It is not that, oh, we are very powerful, we will win. We are overconfident. Without an estimate of the opposition. Simply having own patting themselves on the back, patting oneself on the back is no use. That is not good strategist. You will calculate on the other side also what is there. So, that is strategy. So, Duryodhana is mentioning all the big names on the other side and on big names on this side also. But one thing is one element is added here in this battlefield of Kurukshetra, which could not be calculated materially. That was Krishna. Materially speaking, he was not fighting, and his Yadava army was given to Duryodhana, who all will fight, and all are very, very powerful warriors. No, they never saw defeat in their life. That kind of warriors. And everybody was given to Duryodhana. That incident, I think you all know. You know? So Arjuna, just before the war started, Pandavas and Kauravas, they were, getting armies. They were creating alliances with other kingdoms, trying to get armies on their side, each. So, because both are related to Krishna, both are also cousins for Krishna. So they both went, Duryodhana went to meet Krishna, Arjuna also went to meet Krishna, to ask his help. So Krishna was sleeping and they waited for him to wake up. So he was lying on the bed and Duryodhana was sitting near the head and Arjuna was sitting near the feet of Krishna. So when Krishna woke up, first he saw Arjuna and then he saw Duryodhana also sitting. Then he affectionately received them and said, "Oh, both of you are dear to me. So what have you come for? Since I saw you, Arjuna, first, so I will ask you, and since you are also younger. So I understand that both of you want help, my help in this battle, and I have my armies on, even the demigods cannot defeat. So I have an offer. So since both of you came, I must please both of you. So I will divide myself and my army in this way, that I will be on one side and my army will be on the other side. But my army will fight, but I will not fight. This was the condition. So now you choose whom you want. You want me without fighting, or you want my army, which was like very vast and also will fight. And all of them are as powerful as me. So first chance was given to Arjuna, since he saw him first. So Arjuna said, "I want you, Krishna," immediately, without even hesitation. Then Duryodhana was glad to accept the army. He thought, what is this? Arjuna did not have any brain. After Krishna told everything, that he is not going to fight and he is giving his army to fight, he chose Krishna. Strategy-wise, it was not a good move. But Arjuna's move, this is why there is a saying, Vaishnavera Kriyamudra Vijnahana Bujhaya. That means, even the greatest intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a Vaishnava. Because they sometimes don't look intelligible, don't look logical. You put logic in, but you cannot understand a Vaishnava's activities and plans. So, our Duryodhana, he was only on the logical level, material level, and he was calculating very good. Duryodhana was thinking, what is this Arjuna? Such a fool. He got the first chance to ask. He could have asked for the army, but he asked for Krishna. Poor Arjuna. Yeah. So, Duryodhana gladly took the army, and that's how the division happened. See? So now, the element that is missing in Duryodhana's calculation is that Krishna is Achintya. There are, in the Bhagavad Gita, in this, which chapter it is? The 5 causes of action, I think. 17th chapter, if I'm not wrong. Is that so? 5 causes of action. Ah, 18:13. See. O mighty and Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. See. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidham Vividhascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. The place of action, the body, the performer, that means the soul. Performer is not the body. Body is only instrument. The various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. So that for the accomplishment of any action, you have endeavor, you have the body, you have the mind, you have the senses, you have the soul. But beyond all this, the sanction of the super soul is most important. If all the other 4 are there, but if the sanction of the super soul is not there, that action cannot be accomplished. That is why there is a Bengali saying, Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to save someone, no one can kill him. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can protect him. So, his will acts independent of the strength of all these other 4. However the body may be strong, however the senses may be strong, however the intelligence, mind and endeavor may be great, but if the sanction of the super soul is not there, therefore Prahlad Maharaj said, what is it? You know the verse? You should be knowing. Don't know. This is very important verse. Prabhupada quoted this many times. 7:9:19. Take notes also. Balasya neha sharanam pitarau narsimha nartasya chagadanudhan vanti majjato nao taptasya tat pratividhirya ihanja sheshtas tavat vibhotanubhritam tvadupekshitanam. Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Narasimhadev in this way. My Lord Narasimhadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. I think the classic example we have in the Titanic. A boat on the ocean. When they launched the Titanic, they said, this ship can never sink. There is no way this ship will sink. And first voyage it sank. You want to challenge God, first voyage. So there was no ship equal to Titanic. But you see, so if the endeavor was great, the engineering was perfect, everything was perfect, but sanction of the Lord was not there. See? Father and mother cannot protect their child. Always the father and mother think they are protecting the children. Actually, if the Lord wants, that's why we have some cases where the children just die, despite all protection of the parents. Some disease happens or something happens, some accident, they die. Or a physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. The doctor may be the best doctor, best medicine, best hospital, everything best, but still the person dies. It's not that the best hospital do not have any deaths. No, they have. It's not that the best heart surgeon means he will always be successful. No, it is not that. Yeah. So when everything fails, when the doctor cannot do anything, medicine doesn't work, everything is failing, then they will ask the relatives, you now please pray. Pray for his recovery. That prayer should have been done much before. Anyway, with any amount of prayers, this material body cannot be sustained. No use. Not that I have, devotee does not pray like that. Even when Prabhupada was in grave condition, his disciples asked him, please, you do not go away. Don't leave this world so soon, because we don't know how to, we don't know how we will live without you. What will happen to the society, what will happen to the preaching, we do not know. Please do not go. We are not at all ready to, we are not advanced enough to continue this mission without you. Then Prabhupada said, if Krishna wills, whatever Krishna wills, whatever Krishna wishes. Then the disciple said, Prabhupada, if you ask Krishna, then Krishna will oblige. If you ask Krishna not to take you, he will not take you. No. Then he said, Prabhupada said, no, whatever Krishna desires, he cannot stop. See? So actually, a pure devotee can stop. He can request Krishna and Krishna will oblige. It is not that. But a devotee does not misuse that opportunity, that facility he has. He does not ask anything for himself. Whatever Krishna feels right, he will do. He will not demand of Krishna that it's not that Prabhupada said, Krishna, you see, I preach so much, whole world I made devotees. You must protect me, It's not like this. See how much service I am doing. So this is nonsense consciousness. Actually, such a person cannot preach all over the world. A person who can preach all over the world, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahirta Pravartana. If a person is not empowered and blessed by Krishna, he cannot preach. Now, it is not that now, Prabhu, you asking me to preach, you asking me to sell books. I am not empowered. Now I have to wait. I will wait for Krishna to empower me. I will just sit down until that. That is not empowerment. Empowerment, how will we get empowered? We have to follow the orders of the spiritual master. By the blessing of spiritual master, Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado. Yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. Now, if the spiritual master is satisfied, every morning in the Mangalarti we sing. So, if the spiritual master is satisfied, then the blessing and empowerment from Krishna is there. And if we do not satisfy him, then that empowerment is not there. So how to satisfy the spiritual master? Must follow his order, and Prabhupada said, distribute my books. So when we are preaching now, we are also speaking now. It is not that we are great learned man and realized souls. No. We are speaking only for our own purification. It's not that we are big, preachers here, telling you something. I am telling this for myself. We're just repeating the words of Krishna. If their words have any use or significance, it is because it is Krishna's words. I am just borrowing. Or Prabhupada's words, borrowing. It is not, the credit doesn't come to the speaker. In this case, me. So it doesn't work like that. So I am doing it all like, Chaitanya Charitamrita, who wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita? Who wrote? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Prabhupada translated into English, yes. But the one who wrote it first was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And when he wrote, he said, I am so fallen that I am not at all capable of writing this book. But all the devotees the Goswamis are asking me to write this book. But how can this fallen soul describe the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the most merciful incarnation of Krishna? I have no capability to do so. I am so sinful that if anybody chants my name, they will go to hell. If anybody remembers me, they will go to hell. All sinful activities will come upon them. So how can I write this book? But since the devotees have requested, I must oblige. So then he said, Jani vana jani, karai apani sodhan. He said this. That means, Jani vana jani, that means whether I know it or not, I am only writing this for my own purification. Whether I understand it or not. So that is the mode we should take up service. Always, it is not that, I am big collector, I will collect so much money for Krishna. If I go, temple will be finished. Or I am big speaker and everybody is, I am becoming very popular. Everybody is liking what I am saying. Like that we have one specimen in ISKCON, one so-called brahmachari. He is going after popularity, mundane popularity, and he is speaking simply nonsense. Not even anything related to Krishna. Some mundane, impersonal nonsense and some mundane motivational talk he is giving. Because why? He has fallen for the trap of Jana. Dhana, Jana, Sundari. Na Dhanam, na Janam, na Sundari. A spiritualist, a devotee, should not fall for these three things. Dhana. the attraction of wealth, the attraction of fame, the attraction of women. These three things Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundaram. Kavitam va jagadisha kame. Kavitam means poets, songwriters, singers. What they sing? What is the song about? A love story. Either going to meet the girl, or with the girl, or lost the girl and they say soup song. So that kind of, either these three things only, that's all. So, this kind of kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Kamaye means they want these things only. Dhana jana sundari. Anybody who has these three things will be worshipped. Oh, he's a very great man. Oh, he has a lot of wealth. Whether he has character or not, that is another thing. Wealth means, oh, everybody will treat him nicely, 5-star, car door, somebody will open. If no wealth, ask him to get lost. So that is it. Nobody sees what is the character of the person. Hardly. Some character is also recognized sometimes, I won't say no. But mostly, especially in Kali Yuga, character nobody cares. If Brahmana, poor, but his character is first class. Nobody cares. What is the use of Brahmana? Simply chant and do some ring bell, and that's all they think Brahmana is. So, anyway, the point is, by satisfying the spiritual master, we get the strength to please Krishna, and by that strength we can preach. So, a pure devotee is never proud. He is just accepting whatever Krishna wants, let him do. He is just at the will of Krishna. Nimitta matram bhava sarve sachinam. Krishna said, Arjuna, you become my nimitta, my instrument in the plan. It is not that devotee will make Krishna his instrument. That is usually how materialistic people will pray to God. God, please, I have a health problem, please save me from this. Or I have some family problem, please save me from this. Or I have some financial problem, please save me from this. All these prayers, actually the interest of the person is where? It is not in God. It is there in his body, his health, or his family, or his finance. That is where his interest is. His interest is not centered on God. But if God can help do something, can fulfill his interest, then he will pray to God. And if somebody else will fulfill that interest, then he will glorify that person. Suppose a doctor has saved this person. He goes to God, please save my child. And the doctor saves the child. He will glorify the doctor. Of course, someone who is a little more pious, he will think that Krishna has arranged his doctor for saving Krishna's place. But still, what is something untoward happens? Krishna, that's why he also tests this. When something good happens, okay, this Krishna has saved me, saved my child or whatever. What if, when the child becomes a rascal? Or the wife suddenly dies? Or suddenly money gone, big loss. In Prabhupada's life this happened. Prabhupada was householder. He was a manager of a pharmaceutical company. And one sudden day he got one letter from Allahabad where his manager was running the show there, business. Then he got a letter from there saying that everything is finished. This manager has cheated, everything gone. All business gone. No more, nothing left. Overnight, just simply like that. Then Prabhupada looked at the letter and he started smiling. He said, Krishna removed my last attachment. Now I must only preach the message of God, which my Guru asked me to do. You see how he saw it. He did not immediately, Krishna, please save my company. I will go on legal, so please help me. Remove my last attachment. So, many reversals will happen. Just like in Pandava's case, everything was reversals for him. But Narad Muni says, but in these reversals, your devotion to Krishna only increased. What is this? You are not just not discouraged, but your encouragement, your enthusiasm become even more for your devotion to Krishna. What is this? What kind of magic Krishna is playing? That is true actually. the more the situations are intense, the more we are attached to Krishna. So, Krishna will test. Krishna will test us. And we should be prepared. We should not be afraid of those tests. But we should be just concerned. We should pray to Krishna, just let me be attached to you. That's all our concern should be. And the so-called test will no longer even be a test. That is explained in the 11th canto. Prabhu quoted this many times. Deham janaswaram avasthitam uthitam va siddho na pashyati yatodhyagamat swarupam Daivalapetam athadaiva vashadupetam vaso yatha parikritam madhiramadandha. Just as a drunken man does not notice if he is wearing his coat or shirt, similarly, one who is perfect in self-realization and who has thus achieved his eternal identity does not notice whether the temporary body is sitting or standing. Indeed, if by God's will the body is finished, or if by God's will he obtains a new body, a self-realized soul does not notice. Just as a drunken man does not notice the situation of his outward dress. What to speak of becoming afraid of death and becoming, praying to Krishna, please. He does not even notice that the body actually died. And he got a new body. He does not notice. I mean, that much he is absorbed in Krishna. So this is the position of self-realized soul. He is completely detached from the external situation. So death is the final test. The greatest test. But if that is also not even noticeable for a self-realized person, then all the lesser tests, what are they? So this is the position. Of course, we are not in this position, but there is a position like that. It is not fictitious. There is a position like this. And self-realized souls, like Srila Prabhupada, they are all in this stage. That's why the Goswami is also Nidra Viharakadi Vijitau. Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijitau. They forgot eating, sleeping, everything they forgot. It's not that we should imitate. Oh yeah, Goswami, yes, I also want to be like that. From tomorrow I will not eat or I will not sleep. That is not, it is not to be done like that. We cannot imitate. We should never imitate the activities of a great soul. We should follow in the footsteps of what instructions there are given. That much we should do. And if by Krishna's grace we come to that stage, that is another thing. So anyway, the devotee of Krishna always depends on the mercy of Krishna. He understands that even if the 5 causes of action, right? Even if the other 4 are not there, if just the sanction of Krishna is there, it will still work. Krishna does not need the other 4 to make it happen. He can make it happen even just out of thin air. So these calculations Duryodhana could not understand. Whereas Arjuna, you see how Duryodhana saw Arjuna as a fool. Because he did not understand the calculation. But actually Arjuna was far, far superior to Duryodhana. Okay? So this is the difference. This is the difference. In the Ramayana also we have example. The Ravan, he was so powerful that even Yamaraj and death personified did not chastise him. He went to the hellish planets where the Yamadutas, Yamaraj, everybody was there. And he killed so many Yamadutas he killed. The Yamadutas are taking the departed souls and they are punishing them. He punished the Yamadutas themselves. Yes, see how powerful Ravan was. And so many Yamadutas he killed them. And Yamaraj and death personified, everybody came in front of him, and time personified came in front of him to fight. Of course, Brahma invisibly asked them not to fight. Or fight him. His time has not come yet. Let him commit more atrocities, and then he will be killed later by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Ravan thought, he defeated even Yamaraj. See how audacious he was. And his son also was called Indrajit. Actually, he was called Meghanath. But he was called Indrajit because Indrajit means one who has conquered or won over Indra also. Indra is the king of the heavens, heavenly planets. And it is impossible to defeat him in warfare. He is such a great fighter. Nobody can defeat him. He has this weapon of thunderbolt. Finished. Anybody would be cut to pieces with that. But he won even Indra. That was the power. And all the great, Kumbhakarna. How to even kill Kumbhakarna? Huge. And they all were not only equipped with normal weapons, mystical weapons. There was no way they can be defeated. On the other hand, Ramchandra, he had monkeys. And they were Rakshasas. Rakshasas are far superior to humans. They are a species which is far, far superior to human beings. They are just below the Devatas, that level. Higher than even the Gandharvas, Siddhas, the Bhutas, Pretas, Pisachas, higher than all this. And here we have humans and animals. Bears, birds, monkeys. And throwing what? Some stones. Of course, big stones, of course. Not mountain peaks they were throwing. But compared to those mystical weapons, these are nothing. They can, like that, they can defeat. But how was it that Ram actually won? All these monkeys won over these great warriors. Because Prabhupada explains in the purport that there is spiritual strength and there is material strength. Two things. The spiritual strength, although looks not so sophisticated, but it is far superior to material strength. So, these being devotees of Lord Ram, they had spiritual strength. They had the blessings of Lord Ram. They had the blessings of Sita. Whereas, on the other hand, is Lanka. They lost the blessing, they had the curse of Sita. They had the curse of Ram. Finished. So we should always understand, despite all our endeavors, despite all our strengths, if the Lord wills that this should not happen, it will not happen. Even if they say hard work is the key to success. So many people are working hard. Why they are not successful? Now they came up with new term. No, don't work hard, work smart. But many people are trying to work smart also, still not successful. Suppose, yes, I know how to, maybe, nowadays is online business, laptop lifestyle. Okay, you start something. What if some nerve just snaps and become paralyzed? What will happen? So if my karma is that I have to stay with this amount of money, this amount of happiness, that much only I'm going to get. There's no way it's going to increase with my endeavor. So therefore, a real person who is interested in his own well-being should not waste time to over-endeavor for materialistic objectives. Oh, I should become a very rich man, I should become very successful, I should become like the next Sundar Pichai. No, these are not success. These are results of past karma. So there are many intelligent persons more than Sundar Pichai who are not so rich. So these are not they may be famous in this world, but all the people who revere him or revere any famous personality for that matter cannot help him at the time of death. At the time of death, yes, I am known to, like Mark Zuckerberg, 2 billion Facebook users. The whole world knows him. Now, at the time of death, this whole world population cannot save him. At that time, only one person is going to go with him, the Paramatma. And if he did not spend any time to devote to Paramatma, I'm sorry. All the empire that you have built will not help. But the problem why these people are not interested in this God is because they think there is nothing after this life. You say we should do good so that we can get something good in the future. There is no future who has seen who. Of course, there are also documentaries where people came from their past lives and spoke and everything. It was tested, everything was there. It is there. Krishna sometimes make these things happen so that for the rascal who does not believe in the scripture, Krishna is saying here, Dehinosmin yatha deha kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra namuhyati. He is saying that just as your body has grown from the infancy to the boyhood to youthhood to old age, similarly, it will change at the time of death. This growing, we say growing, actually it is different material body each second. What is that flip book? You know the flip book? Have you seen the flip book? You saw? You know, when I was at least in school in India, you know, these Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Thumbs Up, they used to fight, you know, in the ads. So they want to catch the younger generation to drink the drinks. So we used to collect, if you drink Thumbs Up or, you know, Pepsi or something, and the caps, you know, caps you collect 3 or 5 or something, you'll get a flip book in exchange. So flip book, what is that? Some, you know, cricketer, some Sachin Tendulkar or Saurav Ganguly, you know, 1 6 he's hitting. So actually each page, if you see, you know, he's first like this and like this and like this and like this and like this. So you just flip it, all the pages like that, and then it's like on one continuous movement. That's called a flip book. So if you see, actually it is not moving. It's an illusion of movement. They are actually static stills. They are actually stills. That's what a movie is also. What is a movie? Frames. Or in the previous old time, negative, you know, the stills. So these are put together, and when it is run, it looks like one continuous motion. Oh, this person is moving, doing this, that. Actually, it is just all stills. So similarly, our body is moving, so-called growing and growing. Actually, no. It is a new body each single microsecond. So that change is seen after a few years, like, you know, 5 years later, oh, you have grown so tall. Actually, it is not that 5 years he was like that only and suddenly grew tall. So, no, it was happening gradually. So imperceptibly it was happening. So the change is not that, oh, until for 5 years he remained the same height and then suddenly one day, overnight he woke up and he became like that. No, it won't happen like that. So the change is imperceptibly happening every second. Only thing we notice after some time because of our imperfect vision. So similarly, our body is actually every second we have a new body. So now I remember I did something when I was maybe 4 years old, 5 years old. I did something. So I was there definitely at that time. But that body, that small body is no more there. Medically also, every cell is replaced after 7 years. That means today what cells I have in this body, 7 years back, not even one of these cells were there. Medically also it is a fact. So every time the cells are, you know, dying and they are replaced by new cells. So over a period of like 7 years, all the cells are replaced. That means I have none of those cells which were there before. But the formula, the DNA was there, of course. Because of that, the new cells are being rebuilt on that formula. But that's the point. So I am having new bodies. So Krishna says, just as you have been having new bodies, after old age, at death, you will have another new body. A totally new one. Like nothing that looks like this. So Krishna already said, but rascals don't believe, no? So for them, Krishna will bring this kind of documentary, you know, some person, World War II, you know, from one video I saw once. In World War II, he was a fighter jet driver, pilot. He was bombed, his plane crashed and he died. And 60 years later, he was born, you know, as somebody, and he was saying that he knew everything about the aircraft. From, you know, like, even when he cannot speak, he knew everything what was what. And when he started speaking, he could explain everything in detail. Even pilots sometimes did not know so much, engineers did not know. And he said, then he revealed also that, he went to this, he was shot at here, and, everything, he remembered everything. And they went there, met her, I think son or grandson or something. And yes, there was a person with this name, his name he remembered, everything. Many things like this happen. I mean, there are so many stories like this on the internet. One person, Australian, 19 years old, car crash, severe crash. He was in coma for 1 week. He woke up after 1 week, came back to his senses, forgot English, but was speaking Chinese so well that the guys in Beijing could not believe. What is this? University professor of Chinese or what? He was speaking Chinese like his parents could not fathom what he was saying. Then they figured out it was Chinese. Then he actually went to Beijing University to do something with some specialization, something. How after a car crash he learned Chinese, and later I remembered English again slowly, but Chinese was like just professor level Chinese. How did that happen? So that memory of previous lives learning or something, just they come as bubbles. When the bubbles, when sometimes they're stuck in the water somewhere deep, and suddenly they come up and come to the surface like that. It is said in one part of the Bhagavatam that the memories, they come up just like in dreams. Sometimes we dream something which we never saw, which we never experienced in this life, but we experience in the dream. Where did this come from? It is not some imagination. It's something of our past memory that is just coming up as bubbles. So these things cannot be explained if you negate this principle of reincarnation. You cannot explain. Actually, forget about all this. Even if none of those situations existed, what is the reason that we have so many different types of bodies, different types of intelligence, different types of family, culture, wealth, everything is different? Why? If God is equal to everyone, why is giving one a disadvantaged position of a material, physical or mental handicap, and another such an intelligent brain that there's no match? Why these differences then? If you negate the principle of law of karma, you cannot explain this. That means he acted in a certain way for which he is suffering or enjoying today. That is the only explanation. Otherwise, you cannot explain this. The only way the scientists they explain is chance. Oh, by chance it happened. By chance this guy is intelligent. By chance this guy is foolish. By chance he is rich. By chance he is poor. When we say chance or accident, that means we are not actually understanding the whole mechanics of how everything is working. That's why to cover it up, I say chance. But this is not a proper explanation. But law of karma explains everything perfectly. So you cannot negate this principle of reincarnation. So for those people who cannot accept the Vedic scriptures, then Krishna also gives these kind of situations to get them to think. Come on, what you're thinking is rubbish. Rethink your whole idea of life. So he brings sometimes these situations. But a devotee always has faith in Krishna's words. Although scientifically he may not be able to prove. Like for example, we say there is next life. I don't remember my past life. But of course, remembrance, Prabhupada argued also very nicely. One person was arguing with Prabhupada. You say there is past life, okay. If there was past life, why people don't remember then? Prabhupada said, when you were a 1-year-old, when you were a 6-month-old baby, what you did you remember? He said, no. That means you did not exist when you were 6-month-old. How is that? That is bad argument. Just because you didn't remember does not mean that you were not there or it did not happen. The parents remember what you did. And still they may today also maybe they will joke about it. Oh, you were saying like this, you were crying like that, you were doing this. You don't remember that. But they will remember. They saw. Just because I don't remember, I cannot say that it did not happen. What to speak? If suppose, 2 years back, there was one of our Australian devotee, Mataji, her father had a bad accident, motorbike accident. In the accident, after the accident, it took some time and there were multiple fractures and all that, but it was all okay. Now he's all right. He remembers now everything before the accident, everything after the accident, but he remembers nothing of the accident. He has no clue how it happened, when it happened, no clue. In many cases it's like that. All these big accidents, they don't have no clue how it happened. Our one devotee also is here who got into a motorcycle accident a few years back. He doesn't remember anything, how it happened. That does not mean it did not happen. Otherwise, why is he in the hospital bed suffering? Since it happened, you cannot deny. So remembrance is not a good enough argument for something which happened or not. We cannot base our argument on remembrance. Our remembrance is so imperfect. What I remember 1 week ago, what I had for dinner, I don't even remember. What I had 3 days ago for dinner, I don't remember. Unless I have the same thing every day or something like that. See? So how can we base our arguments on remembrance? Which is so faulty. So, just as the parents saw what we did as a 1-year-old, similarly Krishna, our real parent, also saw what we did in our previous life. The very fact that I am suffering in this life, I am in this material world, means that I did something in the previous life. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. Mixture. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes bad, sometimes ugly, sometimes bad. I did many things. That's why sometimes I have happiness, sometimes I have sadness, sometimes I have anxiety, sometimes I have different mixture of feelings. Why? Because of my different activities. So, if this is all true, then our present actions will determine our future. So, how important it is how we conduct ourselves now. Therefore, we should not take the spiritual life very lightly. You will say so many things, but I have many duties, I have work, I have this, I have that. I will come sometimes to them. No, it's not that. Yeah, you have all the duties. One day, if I just die, one day I'm going to die. How much? All these duties will not work at the time of death. Yamaraj is only going to check this one, see what Yamaraj is saying. Because ultimately we are going to be under his jurisdiction. No? Let us see what he is saying. Then we will know. Just like, when I prepare for interview, when I prepare my resume, I need to know what will satisfy that interviewer. I will prepare my resume, accordingly. So we are going to have an interview, with Yamaraj. So let's see what satisfies him. He is telling to his Yamadutas this thing. Jihvanavakti bhagavad gunanamadheyam chetaschana smrati taccharanarvindam krishnaya no namati achira ekadapi tananayadhamasato krita vishnu prityan. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. You see that? In other words, Yamaraj is saying, our duty in human life is only to perform duties for Vishnu. What is that? We should satisfy Krishna in every way. Other things are not our duties, you see. Which send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. We are saying, my duty is to maintain my family, my duty is to take care of my parents, my duty is... That is our side, routine work. Our duty is not that. Yes, as a matter of routine, we take care of all that, fine. But our real thing is how to advance. Not that, I take care of my parents, it is as good as serving God. That is not supported in any Shastra. No. If you want to serve God by serving your parents, make them chant Hare Krishna. And then there is service. They say service to man is service to God. Totally opposite. Service to God is service to man, and also service to the animal, service to everything. Just like when you water the root, then you water the whole tree. You water automatically the leaves, the branch, the flowers, the fruits, everything. But if you water the fruit, it is not watering the root. It is not equal to watering the root. Krishna is the root of everything. By saying that service to man is what? One part of Krishna's energies. It's like one leaf, one small leaf. Now if I water that, it is not equal to I am watering the root at all. And that's not a proper way to water the plant, water the tree. If I pour at the root, every single nook and corner, without exception, will be watered. So serving God will serve every single person because everybody belongs to God. Everybody actually comes from God. They are branches or leaves or fruits or flowers of the root, God. So Krishna is like that. So our human life, we should understand this, and our duty should always be directed to how to satisfy Him. So please bring me all such fools and rascals. He is using one more qualification word. Fools and rascals. So this is the class of people that Yamaraj wants interview with. So if you want to have an interview with Yamaraj, do these things. Don't chant, don't bow down to Krishna, don't do your duties to Vishnu. That means Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, studying Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna, becoming devotee, preaching, donating something to Krishna, doing service here. These are all duties toward Krishna. Don't do. If you want to meet Yamaraj, don't do these things. But you see what he says about those who actually do these things, what will happen to them. That also Yamaraj says. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhavah samadrisho bhagavat prapannah tanno pasidata harer gadayabhiguptan naisham vayam na chavayah prabhavama dande. My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees, for they have fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It means he is asking the Yamadutas, don't even approach, don't even think of approaching the devotee at all. They are not under my jurisdiction. They are fully surrendered to the Krishna. They are equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, Swargaloka. Inhabitants, they are singing the narrations of the pure devotees. That's why every morning we Guru Puja, Guru Vandam, song we sing for Prabhupada. What is the last line? Ebejasha Bhushutri Bhuvan. What is the meaning? Nice words, Prabhu, nice tune. The songs all you must know what we are singing. They are meant to be understood and sung with feeling. So Ebejasha Bhushutri Bhuvan means, Tribhuvan means this whole universe. Jasha means fame. Bhushuk means glorified. His fame is glorified throughout the universe. Now this is not some nice poetic line, nice way to say. No, it is not some just because I like we like Prabhupada, so we will sing something in praise of him, whether it makes sense or not. Sometimes they say like that. When somebody dies in the family, you say, oh, he is such a great man. He must have definitely gone to heaven. No way he will go to hell. He was such a nice man. How we know? Just because I like that person, I will say anything about. And if somebody says, no, he did this, he did that, maybe you chant, otherwise maybe he will go to hell. How you can say like this? They immediately become angry. Because affection. You can't say anything to them also. Actually, unless a person is very, very, free of sinful activity, he cannot go to heavenly planets also. How much pious activities you have to do just to go to heavenly planets, Swargalok only. Swargalok is not the end, the ultimate destination. No, not at all. It's just, you have many times gone and come back also. So it is not a very big time place. It's just one of the material planets. Even that we cannot go. Urdhvam gachanti satvastha. We should be in the mode of goodness. First of all, what time he was waking when he was alive? Every day, what time he was waking up? Before sunrise or after sunrise? After sunrise means mode of passion, Rajoguna. He is going to be in the earthly planet only. What food he is eating? Mode of goodness, sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic food, or prasadam? No, Prabhu, he was eating sometimes chicken, this thing. Then what? Mode of ignorance. Adhogachanti tamasa, going hell, down. What are the everything? Whatever we are doing now, whether what time we wake up, what kind of consciousness we have, what kind of people we associate with, what kind of food I eat, every single aspect of our life are governed by the three modes. And in what mode of things I associate with, karanam gunasangosya sadasad yonu janmasu. According to my modes, I will get my birth. If I am going to be, all my associates and friends are all drunkards or woman hunters or, horrible people, criminals, this, that, then I can't be of a very sane mentality. Even though I may not do exactly the things they're doing, I may think it is okay. If I'm thinking that is not okay, I will not be with those people. But if I am with those people, it's alright, you are doing that, I won't do. Okay, whatever you wish to do. So it is like, you don't see it as bad. If you really see it as very bad and you should not be there, you will not associate with such a person. You see? Just by even associating with a person, We are half accepting their gunas, their qualities. Even with just being with that person. That's why once what happened, Prabhupada and disciples were, I think at an airport or train station, I don't know where. They were waiting. So some of the disciples said, why don't we just sit in this, restaurant, this chairs here, you can sit down for a while before the car comes. No, we cannot sit down there. Prabhupada said. Even just by sitting at that place, we will get so much of the karma. Simply, just by sitting there and doing nothing. Just by sitting there, we are like half accepting that it is okay. What to speak? Once what happened? I think I told this a few times. Prabhupada was in this car and the devotee was driving in this lane. Another lane, there was this truck with frozen meat. Frozen meat products. So he was going at a little faster speed. And there was a car in front of him. The guy was not going so fast. So he gave way. And then he went further. Then he went back. Prabhupada said, this car who gave way is going to get the reaction of that killing of that, all the poultry or whatever is in that van, that frozen truck, meat truck. Just because he facilitated it to go faster, this car guy is going to get karma, reaction. You see how subtle the laws of karma are. Once one gynecologist, gynecologist, the doctor for women, especially the babies and all this. These gynecologists always commit abortion. They help do abortions. And it's so sinful. So once this gynecologist came, a donation for Prabhupada. Prabhupada did not even touch the money. He asked the disciple to immediately put in the donation box. He did not even want to touch that money, tainted with so much sin. And especially this is one more thing important to understand, that devotees should never try to enjoy the wealth donated. So, when we go out for donations, there are some people who fake as if they have some problem, some physical ailment or something, and they beg and so much money people will give them. And we have seen practically, one hand was gone. He was a Chinese old man. One hand gone, one leg gone from the knee and one from the elbow. And important days, Chinese festival, he'll go to in front of the Chinese temple and he will lie down on the floor. He will look such a pitiable, sight that everybody just gives and gives and gives and gives without stop. The whole day. One day he collects more than 10 collectors. We all are collecting more than all of us put together. That much he collects. Thousands of dollars. One day. Tens of thousands of dollars one day. And then what he does? None of those donors know what he do. But we know what he do. He immediately goes, nicely drink liquor and comes here to this Gelan, a prostitute, have sex. This is the thing that he was doing. Although he had no leg, no hand, still money, he can have whatever. So this is how people don't know. They don't know what. So if I enjoy, I can do whatever I want. But then, the moment I accept somebody's money, I am going to pay it back to them. I have to pay it back. If I don't voluntarily pay back, and I say, yes, I have cheated him. I have to keep he doesn't even know. Yeah, fine. Next life I have to pay back. Sometimes, in the family, somebody born as, some retarded or, somebody who, the son is very unruly. Why this happens? Or some very health ailments, Why this happens? So I have to pay the money to cure for him. Because I actually owed him in my last life. And this life I am having to pay back. These are all past rina, the debts, which come in ways of affection. When you are affectionate to somebody, you will spend any amount of money to save your son or save your mother or save your son. You will have to spend. If you don't spend, everybody will criticize. What nonsense son you are, or what nonsense father you are. So I have to spend, and I also have the affection. I will also spend my own. I will beg, borrow, steal. I will spend. So that we have to pay back. We must remember this, and especially that money which is meant for Krishna. If I take, there is no end to the suffering that I am going to have. There is mention in the Bhagavatam. I think 11. 27:54. Anyone who steals the property of the demigods or the brahmanas, whether originally given to them by himself or someone else, must live as a worm in stool for 100 million years. If you take a brahmana's thing or a devotee's thing means what? Krishna's thing. If you take from temple, steal something, this is going to be the result. Because brahmanas, why? Because they will use everything. Whatever they have is not theirs. They will use everything for Krishna. So when you say the property of brahmanas means, it is not their property. They will use it for Krishna. And if such property meant for Krishna is taken away, then I will become that worm in stool for 100 million years. 100 million years as a worm in stool, this is no joke at all. But if I take from common man, then of course proportionality is lesser, but still I have to pay back. If I take from devotees, payback is like huge. Proportion is like totally out of calculation. So we have to be very careful. We have to use everything in Krishna's service, and how he asks us to serve him. Krishna's service means how he asks us to serve him. Not that how I want to serve him. Oh, Krishna says, offer to me and eat prasadam. Okay. I like chicken, I will offer chicken. No. Not what I like. What he likes, I have to give him. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. You give me vegetarian food, then you eat as prasadam. That is acceptable. So when I want to, just like a customer service. What is customer service? Customer is king. I have to serve him. No matter if the customer shouts at me, I should be smiling. Correct or not? Like that. Of course, there was one, Indians sometimes can get very funny. There was one, I just went to India in March. Not also March. No, earlier this month. Went for the Puducherry Rath Yatra. So, we went to one shop. Quotation. Customer is king. King never bargains. They do not want the customer to bargain. In one way they are saying them, lifting him up. The second line is just putting him down. So, don't try to bargain with us. This is what he's saying. So anyway, but this is customers. What customer wants, I have to give. You see? Similarly, a service means how the person who is being served, how he wants to be served. That is how you have to serve. Not that, sir, whether you like it or not, I will serve this one, you eat. That is not service. That is imposition. You are imposing what you want to do. So, Arjuna, he was in this mood that Krishna, whatever you want, even if you don't fight, doesn't matter. I just want you. And Duryodhana was calculating, I have this, I have that, I have this person, I have that person, all calculation gone. And then who lost? Here 5 brothers all were remaining, other 100 brothers all dead. Plus Karna also dead. 101. And plus of course all the other great generals, everybody mentioned, all dead. So, if Krishna sanctioned, therefore we have to always work for Krishna. Krishna's sanction will always be there for his own mission. So, we have to always, it is not that of course when we are preaching there will be also hindrances. It is not that everything will go first class. Because those hindrances will strengthen us. So, Krishna also gives these situations where sometimes it looks like a reversal. Even when we are preaching, situations become difficult. Like Prahlad Maharaj. He was just chanting Narayana only. father tried to kill him in so many ways. Own father. And he was just a 5-year-old boy. Come on, what wrong did he do? But the father was trying to kill him in so many ways. And Prahlad Maharaj never strategized. Oh, I will do this to counteract, I will do that. Nothing is Narayana. That's it. He was chanting Hare Krishna. That's it. Nothing else. And Krishna took care. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh yeah, I will also chant Hare Krishna and I will stand in front of in the middle of the road and nobody will. You know, Prahlad Maharaj did not do that. He was attacked by, it's not that he will, I will show everybody how Krishna is powerful. You see, I will stand in the middle of the road, and when the bus is coming fast, I will run in front of the bus and see how Krishna is. Krishna is not a fool. We cannot make use of Krishna, saying that Krishna must save me. What is this? And I will prove to the whole world. This is all some ahankar. Thinking first of all that I am such a great servant that Krishna will actually have to notice my chanting, as if I am such a big chanter. I have first of all no taste for chanting. I cannot chant 24 hours a day. I have no taste. Who am I? And I am thinking I am such a big devotee that Krishna will have to come personally to stop the bus and what is it? We should not be idiots. There's a story, when this devotee, he heard from his guru, Krishna will say, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna will protect whatever may be the case, Krishna will protect. So this disciple, he took it, yes, Krishna will protect me. So he was walking. So he saw in his village all the people were suddenly running this way. And then he saw everybody, why running? Then everybody was shouting, hey, go, run behind, don't go forward anymore. There's a mad elephant who just came out of the forest and is running into this village and, destroying everything. Don't come under this way, don't come in the way. He thought, no, Krishna will protect me. I will just go forward. My guru said Krishna will protect me. And he went and everybody was, warning him, but he just went and then the elephant nicely trampled him and he died. When Yamaraj asked, why? My guru said this, I am just following my guru's words only. What wrong did I do? And to have faith in Krishna is wrong? Why I was punished? Then he was told, see, when everybody was telling, you should understand that Krishna is telling through them. It's for our own protection they were telling. If you think that you want some other thing other than what is already being told, then what is that? You want some special attention from Krishna. Special attention. And this is the problem. We think we are very special. First of all, materially we always think like that. We are taught like that in school. Be the first. You can do it. You are the winner. All this is what? Thinking I am very special. You have it in you. But have what? I don't have anything. I'm feeling nervous. I don't know. But they say, just to boost the morale. You can do it. What is this? It's passionate nonsense stuff. Actually, he's not confident, but he's just, passionately just getting his adrenaline just to do whatever he wants to do. So that kind of self, thinking I'm very special, I can do this, I can do it. This I can do is total nonsense. This I can do thing is total nonsense. In fact, I think recently I saw one study. They said thinking oneself deficient, even materially speaking, this was a materialistic research. I was actually quite surprised to see that they found this. That thinking oneself deficient, incapable of doing something, actually helps the person do it. Rather than thinking that he can do it. They said, when I say I can do it, they say there's a hit of dopamine in the mind, which makes us think that I have already done it. That kind of happiness you already get, as if I have already done it. I am capable of doing it. I'm already there. So I won't endeavor for doing it. The endeavor will not. I already feel I'm there. But if I am deficient, I need to get there. So I will endeavor. And actually, to accept one's imperfection, that is considered better, even by materialistic research recently. So, our devotional principle is always Trinada Prasamicena. So you don't have to do all this research. Krishna has already given us. Trinada Pisunishana. Because I was actually thinking before that, we always need to be humble and everything. In the beginning, especially when I was joining Krishna consciousness. Our scriptures say we have to be humble and all the great devotees, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam saying, I have no devotion, I'm a useless fellow. They are saying like that. In materialistic people will term it as a depression. They say you are depressed. Oh, I am good for nothing. They say you are suicidal. Actually, a person who does not have the connection with Krishna, he will actually feel suicidal. Oh, I am good for nothing, I am useless, I am this and that. He will go down and down the spiral. But one who is Krishna's devotee, when he says I am useless, it is not that he is depressed. He is just actually accepting the fact that he is useless. Actually, we are useless. Because without Krishna giving us any strength, any intelligence, we cannot do anything. Like we think we are very intelligent, right? Did we choose the intelligence that we had? When we are in the womb of the mother, we were meditating. I want to have this much intelligence. No. This much IQ I want. No, we did not do. Neither did our mother do, neither did our father do. Nobody decided how much intelligence we were going to have. Neither we nor our parents. Neither doctor. It was arranged by the Lord. So even if I say I am very intelligent, but that intelligence also is given by Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the intelligence of the intelligent. So unless He gave us intelligence, we cannot use that intelligence. We are only using what Krishna gave us. We may take credit, I became, now they Burj Khalifa, the tallest building. Now they are going to build a kingdom tower, which is even taller, 1 mile in height, 1 kilometer in height. I think this is 1 kilometer, Burj Khalifa, and that is going to be 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers. They will take all the credit. I did. What they do? What they actually did? All the ingredients meant for the construction, they dug out from somewhere else. They did not create one atom of that building in their laboratory or without independently of Krishna. They never did. They just used whatever Krishna gave, and they used the intelligence that also Krishna gave, and they are doing something. It's just a transformation of energy. And as I say, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. There was some clay, there is some mud, there is some sand, water, there is some fire, put together, make it a brick. And who is building out of bricks? It is just a transformation of energy. When they say energy can neither be created nor destroyed, we cannot create or destroy. Krishna can create and destroy. That is there. Now, Krishna has that capability. We cannot. So a devotee always acknowledges this fact. That's the difference between a devotee and non-devotee. We are not against. Now, we are also using this technology created by non-devotees. This is created by non-devotees. Although he ate some prasadam, Steve Jobs, he went to the Hare Krishna temple to eat some prasadam. At least next life maybe we will at least something like human birth maybe, hopefully. But non-devotee, you see? Yeah, take prasadam. So at least he has done some pious activity. Actually, he did not know what he did. He just thought he ate some food, but he did not know he ate prasadam. So he does not know how much he is going to benefit from it. So anyway, all this technology, all these things are done by non-devotees, but we are using them in Krishna's service. So we are not against technology. Some people have this idea. Sadhus means they should have no smartphone. They should have nothing smart. They should. You should have all the dumb things, like on Kamandalu, water pot, and danda. We are not saying it's dumb. But the thing is, they have a stereotype vision of a sadhu. Basically, they want to see him as a simple person. And actually, I went to India. Because I used my phone to take video and make a video out of it. I was doing the video with selfie stick, Kirtan was going on and I was holding it. Everybody was saying, this Swami holding one selfie stick. What kind of Swami is this? Because of course I'm not a Swami, I'm a Brahmachari, but saffron cloth means for them Swami, So what is this holding one selfie stick in camera? What kind of Swami is this? I saw their faces were like weird, So they have a stereotype vision of it. But a devotee's understanding of it is, he does not negate anything, whether it's a smartphone or whether it's a laptop or whatever it is. It is Krishna's energy after all, and it has to be used for Krishna. If I use it for myself, it is definitely wrong. And actually there is a lot of danger in using these things, because the Maya is so strong. At a tap of a finger you have Facebook, you have YouTube, you have all kinds of entertainment at fingertips. They used to say TV, entertainment at your fingertips with the remote. Actually the remote is here, entertainment is there. Now literally at the fingertips, entertainment on the screen here. So Maya is definitely strong there, It is not, we are not denying the fact, but if we use it for Krishna's service, and if we are doing our sadhana properly, if we are using, if we are in the association of devotees and the philosophy, if we keep our spiritual strength, we can use these so-called dangerous tools in Krishna's service, and they become great. Like printing press was invented to print newspapers, to publish some useless. Actually, it's a waste of paper, because yesterday's paper is today. You will packing paper or whatever. It is actually worthless. But how much paper is being used? How much printing press? It's just for one day's reading only. Tons of paper is there. Tons of trees are killed. So you can go on condemning it, or you can take some paper and print on Bhagavad Gita and sell, and make one person a devotee. So instead of condemning material advancement, what Krishna suggests, what Rupa Goswami suggests, Yukta Vairagya principle. Yukta means attached, Vairagya means detached. Yukta Vairagya. This is a transcendental oxymoron. You know what's an oxymoron? Oxymoron is a combination of two opposite words but are used together. Like, suppose this glass is empty. I would say this glass is completely empty. Complete is full. Empty is, so it's two opposite words, but they're put together completely empty. And it makes sense. Or they say deafening silence. Deafening means it's so loud that you can't hear anything. You become deaf. But deafening silence, it's two opposite things. So these are oxymoron. This is called an oxymoron. So this is a transcendental oxymoron devised by Rupa Goswami. Yukta Vairagya. Attached and detached. What is that? You are attached to Krishna, and because everything can be used in Krishna's service, you actually seemingly look attached to those things. You are actually not attached to those things. You are attached to Krishna and you are using that in Krishna's service. But at the same time there is Vairagya. You are not using any of these things for your own sense gratification. So this is called Yukta Vairagya. So everything can be used in Krishna's service. Now because of this laptop, because of this camera, because of the internet, and because of Facebook, we are streaming this class live on Facebook at the moment. And some people on the other side of the globe or wherever, they have a chance to hear about Krishna. They may not be able to go to a temple or stuck somewhere. They can watch. And in this way they can also benefit. So there is certainly benefit. So we should not condemn it totally. But we should condemn the improper use of it or the misuse of it and make proper use of it in Krishna's service. Then everything is first class. Now even though it may not be very sophisticated, that will be appreciated and that will have more impact than the elaborate arrangements made materialistically. One last example before we close. For example, now, just recent, the latest news, biggest news in the world is the data breach of Facebook, the Cambridge Analytica stuff. Now, the fake news that is going on, now the governments and journalists, everybody is on this thing. And everybody is questioning how to stop fake news and how to put in regulations, they're making these huge multi-billion dollars, measures. They're trying to devise measures by which all this can be curbed. And misuse of data, all this can be curbed. There's a huge investment to attempt to counteract it. But actually, you cannot change the attitude of the person by all these laws. Suppose if I'm a thief, what I'm saying is if I'm a thief, in Singapore, I may not steal as much as I would do maybe in India. Because the laws there are not, and the police are not as maybe effective or what. But in Singapore, the police will come within 5 minutes. I better, watch my steps. So, I am only refraining because of the external control. But inside my mind, the desire to steal has not gone away. So, that's why Prabhupada said, the enactment of state laws cannot make a thief an honest man. He can only curb his external activity. His internal, what is going on in his mind, he cannot stop. That can be stopped, that can be changed. Cheto darpana marjana. This dirt of the mind can be cleansed if you become a devotee of Krishna. Then automatically all the good qualities will come in the person. A person who is not a devotee of Krishna is actually a thief. Who does not acknowledge God is actually a thief. Because, as we many times said, everything is taken from God. The air he is breathing, the water he is drinking, the body that he has, the intelligence that he has, the family that he has, the nice position that he has, everything is given by God. So he is practically taken from God, and suppose I take something from you and don't say thank you. Suppose you lent me something and suppose I ask, sir, can I use your phone for a while? I have no phone, I have to make an urgent call. Then you give me your phone and I just talk, just go away. It's like rude, you not even say thank you. So, with that, even that we consider as rude. What to speak? Krishna is giving us everything. Our very breath he is giving. But we say, oh, there is no God, I don't believe. I'm a scientific person. Like Stephen Hawking died, I'm an atheist. People regard him as a greatly intelligent person. Actually, he's a fool, absolute fool. No brains at all. Cannot even understand that there is a God who is directing everything. So, if I take everything from him and I don't even acknowledge him, that means I'm a thief. I'm stealing everything from him. So, if I'm starting as a thief, then whatever I do is also just like 4 thieves went night, ransacked one whole village, and then came to by sunrise they came into the forest where nobody was there. Okay, now let us divide this whole stolen wealth fairly. Everybody equal, okay? No cheating, don't hide anything. Everybody must put everything annual for equally. They're talking about equality, they're talking about fairness. First of all, this property is stolen. Their whole fairness and equality is based on a stolen property which is immoral in the first place. Why they are speaking on morality when the whole platform is immoral? That is the position of a non-devotee. Because materialistic people also will talk about morality. Now everybody is questioning, how come you gave so much data to Cambridge Analytica? Facebook guy was questioned. How come you are giving so much? They're talking about as if they're talking about morality. Everybody is immoral actually. You cannot rectify this fake news or whatever. What is fake news? Cheating. Cheating is one of the 4 deficiencies of a conditioned soul. No matter what, this will always go on. The only way it can be changed is to instill Krishna consciousness. So all these billion-dollar mega ventures or mega measures, material measures, are not as effective as just making a person chant Hare Krishna, by which his character will change. Which is so effective. So, although logically it doesn't make sense. I'm spending, so much measures of server security. Today I went for a seminar. I don't know why I signed up for it, but StarHub sent me this thing, my email, cyber security seminar. So today I went there. What is security measures, this, that, server security, web security, mobile security, talking about all kinds of security. But Prabhupada said, if there are locks, that means there are thieves. Otherwise, you don't need a lock and key. That means, if they are saying that the technology is so advanced that they have this security, that security, this security, that means there are more and more thieves in the society. That means it's a sign of an immoral society. I went to one village in India. That village, there are no doors for the house. There are no doors. And nobody dares to even steal. So that kind of thing. That means the morality, you see, the morality. There is no door even, not to speak of lock. Here, security, this security, advanced security measures. That means what? Becoming advanced, people are becoming advanced rascals. Therefore, to combat that, we need advanced security. That means the mentality of the people where it is going. Sometimes people say, oh, our country has so many reputed hospitals. That means more people are getting sick. You see on the flip side, more people, if there are no more people getting sick, then you don't need so many hospitals. But the thing is, people are getting sick. That's why you need more hospitals to address that. So why they are getting sick in the first place? Stress. Most of it is in the mind. From there it actually comes to the body. The toxins, everything. Our mental state defines our physical state. Our mental state is defined by our spiritual state. And if we are spiritually weak, intellectually weak, mentally we will be weak, physically we will be weak. So, it all comes from the spirit and down to the matter, everything. So, why people are sick? Because the material nature is like that. It is so stressful. Unless they have the shelter of Krishna, it will be stressful and they will always have to see psychiatrists, there will be stress, all these things will happen. So we should always be intelligent and see things from Krishna conscious perspective. And not just see, we have to take the measures ourselves in our own lives and affect the lives in surrounding us. Even if we make one devotee, just like Prabhupada said in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, even if one devotee, if all this effort, Prabhupada translated how many books and how many temples he opened, all these things, Prabhupada said, if even all this can make one pure devotee of Krishna, my mission is successful. One devotee. It doesn't require that whole world become devotees. They won't. So Prabhupada said even 1% of the population becomes devotees. Just like Prabhupada, 1%. How much change he brought in the world? So if just 100 people are like that, out of 7 billion, how much change they can bring? How much the world? 100 people. Potency. So, therefore, we should take it up very seriously and also help preach this message to whoever we can. Whomever you meet, you speak about Krishna. Don't think that it is a very small thing, I'm only speaking to one person. Whereas these big guys, they're speaking to, see how their YouTube watch, how many views, millions of views. I'm only speaking to one person. No, that millions of views, no use. This one view is better because he's becoming devotee. He's being introduced to Krishna. Whereas those is just entertainment or something. No. So we should not calculate materially as Duryodhana was calculating. Size, no. Quality. And with Krishna consciousness, purity is Prabhupada said is a force by which our movement will go forward. He never said great numbers. In fact, at one point in 76, Prabhupada said there are too many devotees in our movement. He said now we have to boil the milk. Because there are too many devotees without standards. Prabhupada did not want that. He did not mind devotees increasing, but he wanted standard of devotees. Not that, Prabhu, I am also chanting some Hare Krishna here and there. I am not waiting for Mangalarti, I am not eating, I am eating outside. This kind of standard Prabhupada did not want. Only prasadam, only, everyday Mangalarti, all this standard. Just wearing nice, kurta and dhoti and kantimala and mathai tilak galai mala. But being a kalichela, that is useless. We should not be show devotee, show bottle devotee. No. Because a person not in good character, if he wears nice tilak and kantimala and dress, he will look maybe look better than the devotee who is following, because the devotee is wearing his dhoti every day. So it will be more spoiled, more brown color maybe. But because he is wearing only once a week, he'll be pakka white, ironed nicely, he has so much time to iron also. So it will look more pakka than. But these things don't define sadhu. Sadhu means by behavior. We don't say don't wash your clothes, wash your clothes. But the point is, anybody can make an appearance. Nowadays there are so many sadhus in India, sadhus, quote unquote. Big malas, big beards, talking rubbish and nonsense. Just wear some saffron cloth, big beard, and everybody, sadhu. People are also so gullible. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, identify a sadhu by hearing what he is saying. Some people say, he's speaking very nicely. First of all, what do you know about what is nice and what is not nice? That is another question. We should identify sadhu by hearing what he is speaking. But these people speak so nicely sometimes, cleverly. Like there is, I don't want to name, but there is a sadhu, so-called sadhu in India. He is a total atheist. I think all of you know, those who are Indians will know his name. He is total atheist. But he acts as if, it's a big sadhu. He juggles with his words. When asked whether there is God, he told everything except the answer. He's a clever crook. He speaks so nicely, very eloquently, and people are clapping away to glory. Just because 1,000 people clap for you doesn't mean you're right, Yeah, his YouTube, his YouTube, every video has millions of views. This is not we are not democracy here. Whatever Krishna says is right, even if the rest of the world says is wrong. That's our what is that? Measure of right and wrong. We don't measure by vox populi, as you say, by popular vote. No, we don't. Of course, it is not that we will act whimsically and against the society, against the norm. No, it's not that. But what is fact and what is not? Krishna, whatever he says, that is absolute truth. Everything else is fake news. Let's put it this way. Everything else is fake, false, except what Krishna says. So if you want to stop fake news, everybody please read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and spread that message. That will be the absolute truth. Everything else is not truth. Everything is fake. So any questions or comments on this topic? Any doubts? Any questions? Granthra Srimad Bhagavad, you have something?
Like Krishna is someone who has been connected with.
Sorry?
Krishna is someone who has been connected with. But in India, I go to Vishnu temple. There is a kind of confusion between that they are worshiping all them. I know although Krishna is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu only, there is confusion. That I should read all things related to Krishna or should I read everything related to Lord Vishnu? That.
No, actually, Krishna is the avatari, and Vishnu is the one of the. He is called Purusha Avatar. Although all avatars come from Vishnu, Krishna does not come technically from Vishnu. Vishnu, in fact, comes from Krishna. Yes. So here it is said in the Brahma Samhita. See this. यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथाः विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. The Mahavishnu into whom all the innumerable universes enter and from whom they come forth again, simply by his breathing process, is a plenary expansion of Krishna. Therefore I worship Govinda Krishna, the cause of all causes. So actually Vishnu himself comes from Krishna. Krishna is even the cause of Vishnu himself. So this is very technical. It is mentioned nicely in the Brahma Samhita and also another verse also in the Brahma Samhita it is said. रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णस्वयं समभवत् परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations such as Rama, Narsimha and many other sub-incarnations as well, but who is the original personality of Godhead known as Krishna and who incarnates personally also. It is also stated in the Bhagavatam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. See, in this chapter, this is the, I don't know, it will take some time maybe. 1, 328, Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, 28 verse. In this chapter, all the different avatars, not just the Dasavatar. Dasavatar is just 10 of the many millions of avatars. It's the prominent ones. It's not that Krishna only came 10 times. So then about 20 something avatars are mentioned in this chapter, and finally this verse came. Etesham sa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Ridayanti Yuge Yuge. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. You see? Although Vishnu and everybody is as powerful as Krishna, but still Krishna is the source of Vishnu and everybody. Just like a candle, it is mentioned, Deeparchireva hi dashantaram abhupeti. With one candle, if I light another candle, so all the candles will have same burning power, but there is one candle which is the origin of all. So like that, Krishna is actually the origin. Yeah, that is more technical, but for to understand Vishnu and Krishna, there is no difference. But technically, as I was saying, Krishna has 4 qualities which even Narayana also does not exhibit rather. It's not Vikinasa does not have, does not exhibit. In his feature, he is not like a Bal Leela. There is no Vishnu Bal Leela, but Krishna has. So, and he is the only one who carries a flute, whereas others they carry Shankar Chakra Gada Padma. So there is few things which Krishna has that even Vishnu gets attracted to Krishna. So that's why he is called Krishna, all attractive. Attractive even to Vishnu, attractive to even Radharani, everybody. That's what makes him Krishna. Akarshit karne wala Krishna. So that is the definition of Krishna. So in fact in the purport also Prabhupada mentions this point. This is a very, very confidential instruction. Usually we don't share this with many people because they won't understand. They will think, oh, we are trying to be too fanatic. There is actually, you see this. This is 1865. Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakta madhyajimam namaskuru maam evaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Now in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that, you see this. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna, the very form with 2 hands carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feathers in his hair. There are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead Krishna. One should not even divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. The Lord has multi-forms as Vishnu, Narayana, Rama, Varaha, etc. But a devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. Concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna is the most dear friend of Krishna. Even to that extent. But of course, it is not that, oh, like Hanuman, oh, something wrong. No. That rasa is, it's like one time Prabhupada, devotees were asking, oh, that means Hanuman's devotion is lesser than Radharani. Prabhupada said, you don't comment on any more. There is no difference between Hanuman's devotion to Ram and Radharani's devotion to Krishna. It's not. Technically, it looks different. But Hanuman doesn't have the same feeling for Krishna. Although he saw Krishna, his devotion is to Ram. And in fact, Chaitanya Lila also there was one, Anupam, who was the brother of Rupa Goswami. And he was very much devoted to Ram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu convinced him to become devotee of Krishna. He was devotee of Ram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu convinced him, you become devotee of Krishna. Krishna is even more attractive. But he heard everything, he accepted everything, but overnight he could not sleep. And then next morning he said, I cannot do this. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, your devotion to Ram is perfect. So, it is not, that's why we cannot materially, try to understand these things. We cannot enter into this understanding. This is a very, very elevated subject of rasa tattva, it is called technically. These mellows of devotion. Unless one is a liberated soul, he cannot understand. Unless one is Mukta Purusha, he cannot understand. But at least now we are doing, you see, Radha Krishna Seva. Prabhupada said, actually we are not doing Radha Krishna Seva. We are doing Lakshmi Narayana Seva. Because Radha Krishna Seva can only be done by liberated personalities, Paramahamsas. Doing this, all these regulations like, 7 artis, and, offering this, 13 items in the lunch, all these rules and regulations are Lakshmi Narayana worship. In Radha Krishna worship, there are no rules. It's beyond even rules. But I cannot imitate today saying, I am already on that level, Krishna will understand what rubbish. I cannot imitate that. I have to follow the rules given by the outside. Until Krishna reveals that to me, that I'm actually, that is, Krishna has revealed when we become Siddha, perfect in our devotion. That is another thing. But we have to follow the regulations of worship. So actually, this standard of worship is actually Lakshmi Narayana worship, with rules and regulations, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, they serve the Lord very opulently. Very costly offerings and all. Ornaments and everything. But in Vrindavan, only flowers, like that. Very simple village setting. Whereas in Dwaraka and Mathura, it was all very royal setting. And Radharani doesn't go even to Mathura. Her mood is in Vrindavan. And hers is the highest. So anyway, these are very technical subjects. But when you worship Krishna, Vishnu is already there. Or if somebody is attracted to Vishnu, like in South India, there's Venkateshwara, there's nothing wrong. It's not like, they are lower, I'm higher than rubbish. That is another. So, the Lord comes in various incarnations to, attract his devotees in different ways. Yeah, if your attraction is for Krishna, well, good. Nothing wrong. And if you want attraction for Vishnu, nothing wrong. Is Godhead still Supreme Personality of God? So, alright, we'll stop here, and I hope there is no question online. Or is there? I can't see whether there's a question online. So we'll just probably stop here. I don't know what is happening. I'm going to stop. Okay. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Thai Gaur ke Mandir. This is like normally long.